I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Linny, I'll only take a moment of your time, if you would be so kind. Huh? What's happening here? I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the real Phantom Weasel all along. That was quick.
Too late, bro.
That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Whoops. Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do with Linny's performance last...
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Huh. Okay, then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years? Oh, I remember now! You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. Quickfire question! Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Linny did a private magic trick just for us. Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon. Guess what? Linny started using rainbow roses in his tricks.
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
What now? Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again? This is getting pretty awkward. What do we do, Traveler?
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind. There's always next time. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. The news about Gemma has already made waves, and I'll stop at nothing to get to the bottom of it all. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. There's clearly a web of complicated relationships there. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean to...
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Oh, really? Oh, thank goodness. You scared Paimon there.
phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
The Solo renewed. The Spiriti Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Spiriti Rasula. An old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little of it. Skyship Winglet, Booner Brain of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly to become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With a disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well-traveled eye.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on! Let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress. There are some things you'll only know when you get there. Navia!
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too!
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Kelarin?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Shot.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Chlorand at any rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And...
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss...
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sigewinne who told Monsieur Neuvillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the Fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Wriothesley will make a personal appearance.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need.
Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier.
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple?
Well then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Ah, Sigewinne.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse?
Sure. Come on, Miss Sigewinne, over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss Lorvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? I think...
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right, last stop, the docks.
I knew you'd miss me. The show begins! Oh, brilliant!
Story to add to my collection. I didn't see them! They really are here! How did...
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by I'll help you make some more friends.
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture of us.
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, Traveler? Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're
I would agree, but I've also heard that...
so there's some reason?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking...
Isn't he real busy? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire...
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I'm doing the... I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see what Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
Shower me with praise!
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neverlet! I didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to, but...
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved?
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign! But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalors deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalors had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like this ritual won't be of any further—
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focalors' words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed— Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal, but now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalors the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Focalors passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations! Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, So all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that the Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend.
Tes, sorry. Semalam tuh layar gua nge-freeze. Jadi tuh backsoundnya jalan, suaranya lancar, segala macam, gamenya lancar, tapi layarnya tuh nge-freeze, nggak bisa di alt tab, nggak bisa diapa-apain. Jadi mau nggak mau di restart. Sorry ya. Jadi udah deh stream di semalam, tapi gue masih tetap lanjutin story, makanya udah sampai sini sekarang.
I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless,
You should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
Nih, permisi. Halo bang. Nah bang.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
Tumben-tumbenan muka YouTube. Aku lagi nge-YouTube lagi setelah 3 bulan 4 bulan nggak nge-YouTube. Gara-gara Karajo. Mampir aja habis ngopi. Wih mantep banget ngopi mulu. Harus pada suka ngopi, gue nggak suka ngopi cok. Suka sih ngopi, cuma kopi susu gitu paling. Bukan kopi satu saset. Udah ada kopi susu, maksudnya kopi sama susu satu saset gitu jadi campur baru deh. Tapi kalau kopi plek gitu kagak. Iya nih bang, lagi nge-YouTube lagi bang. Setelah 4 bulan, udah kerja 4 bulan ya. Nggak berasa cok, udah kerja 4 bulan. Ya setelah 4 bulan nggak nge-YouTube lagi. Mau coba lagi. Kopi saset nggak bagus. Oh, abang kopi apa? Kopi ini, kopi jago. Kopi-kopi yang di kafe tuh.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know.
Masih kerja? Masih bang. Masih kerja dong. Kan udah 4 bulan. Ini lagi berarti ini Desember nih jalan 5 bulan. Jalan 5 bulan bang.
If you're interested though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
Udah semenjak aku kerja yang ngurus-ngurus mama ke rumah sakit itu Bang Wel bang. Kalau abang belum tahu ya, mungkin abang udah tahu kali dari mama ya. Oh ya, aku juga punya murid ya, boleh deh nanti aku dia saja.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
Gue masih agak skeptis sama omongan-omongan orang yang ngomong sama Gnosis, apa ya Gnosis maksudnya apa ya? Elemen itu dari naga ya.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary... I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender.
Itu sih sangat cocok dengan kekuatan elemen, bahkan dapat memperkuatnya. Nih, bahasanya cuma dengan karena cocok sebetulnya. Aku nggak screenshotin sih, tolol anjing. Harusnya gue screenshotin tadi tuh bahasa-bahasanya.
I wonder, does your...
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision! No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck! Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way!
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Gue baca dulu. Gue baca-baca dulu.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalor's effort.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Ah.
We once thought the Fortress of Meripede would be super scary, but looking back, you've got a set schedule, guaranteed food and board, and you can even buy all kinds of stuff with credit coupons. It's really no surprise that Oh, you mean Risley? Well, he does look kind of intimidating. He's actually pretty easy to talk to once you Paimon wonders how he's like with the people here. Do they all... Yeah, he must be doing something right to maintain order here.
Excuse me, did I hear...
Huh? Paimon could have sworn she...
Excuse me, is someone passing by?
Nope, Paimon wasn't dreaming. There's someone over there for sure. But,
Oh, did you hear my call? Thank you so...
You're inside the box? Why are you hiding in here anyway? If we hadn't happened to pass by, you could have been stuck...
It's a bit complicated. Can we not talk about that for now?
Whoa, that's terrible. Did someone...
No, it was nothing quite that serious.
Just your hat, huh? Wait, Paimon gets it! Something must have happened to your hair! Sorry. So that's what happened. Paimon gets it now. You just need your hat, right?
I think you may have misunderstood me, but it's a soft and brown hat with a bit of a brim. I think I probably lost it near the entrance elevator. It was getting a bit hot, so I took it off, and it's really important to me, so...
Don't worry, we'll be...
Shower me with praise!
Hyman doesn't see anything here. But let's go somewhere.
Did Nervylets just walk by?
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
Strike a pose! Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink? Hyman's not that thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about. Typical Sejuin. Concerned about everyone's health as always. Why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on.
Familiar? But if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea. How...
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested in
What's that?
We have a very long history. Going back, we have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation, but helping each other is our purpose. At the same time,
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
all we want is to defend ourselves. None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially but people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network? If you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer. Our slogan may have evolved. Here, this book is for you.
You two look kind of familiar. It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for. The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used. All of us have a lot of.
You should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Neverland.
Shower me with praise!
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network. According to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace. Have you seen any of those before?
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol and Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Oh, so the network was inspired by... Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his...
All right. Let us talk.
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman, Domenico. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Neuvillette?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few... Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Essin has already confessed, so there really isn't...
That idiot!
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct? Who is pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I have...
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief... I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth.
I can do that.
You see? We're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines? Over that?
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the Fortress of Meripede was declared guilty by him, after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right? If I could get them to strike back... But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular. What did those nobodies even gain from trying to challenge me? In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melusines to I recall that Chiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection. So I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Chiara and force her to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scam...
Yes. And that...
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal... So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melusines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melusines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melusines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing. I trust that they would make different choices from before.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melusines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melusines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melusines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you, and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, Your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgments. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of you're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wished to investigate something on your own, many would take the initiative to lend you.
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled, I should get going.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
I know of what you... The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business. Therefore, I leave that matter in your hands.
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the...
I see no issues.
Great! That's one thing out of the way.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard...
Yep. Nevertheless thought they're bad.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meripede. They were not great. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprison. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. In other words, how he presented himself in...
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment.
Perhaps he had been putting...
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me.
I don't have anything to say. Well then, let us...
Please, take care.
Snappity snap.
Whoa!
Hey!
Huh? But if this...
Absolutely!
Sure. Hold up. How much did you say again? 1.5 million? Did Paimon hear that right? That's a lot of mora for just 1 foot.
If you're interested...
9 figures? That's... wait. Yeah, what kind of...
Con innocent, but you got it back to front.
Whoa.
Well, common sense says that if Gardamex want to fight crime, the first thing they need to do is identify who's... But what... Think of the poor...
Okay.
Great. Okay, so let...
That's cheap. A Gardamex...
Bingo! Right, Gardamex are in... It is actually fair. But here's completely blind to the would-be blubber beasts.
Wait, so the... Okay, that's...
Exactly! And look, currently, any clockwork amount... And, if all goes to plan...
Paimon's getting... And the reason you wanna...
Wow! What do you say? Crucially...
Forget the moro.
Great! Okay, take this. I've already already. Let's get this
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. What do you think, Traveler? Hey, any comments?
What I really think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person. These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Nervillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, You will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him.
Oh, that's one.
Sorry for dragging you.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Mermonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger. I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy. So I asked her to stay inside the Palais.
What a relief!
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Neuvillette, would you be interested in an exclusive interview?
That's not how you celebrate!
I will consider it.
Really?
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much, Monsieur!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
Halo. Tidur.
Kiara?
Monsieur Neuvillette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter. You're safe now.
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so I easily forget things. By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way? I haven't seen her in a long time. In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, "Kiara, our dreams have finally come true." I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot! Am I allowed to go out now? I promised to model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis Paimon.
See you next time.
Lucu. Yap, kelar semuanya. Let's go. Ya, besin resin habis itu udahan. Akhirnya story-nya kelar. Anjing. Sebenarnya masih ada story lagi sih, kayak berapa lagi sih? Masih 2 lagi sih, 2 doang. Cuma nggak apa-apa lah kalau 2. Kayak Ayato kali ya? Coba pakai Ayato, udah lama main Ayato ya.
There are still so many places for us to explore.
Illusion shattered.
Everyone hold hands. The Temple of Wisdom.
Everybody stand back.
The depth's back.
Shine down.
Hey.
Off we Teamwork is strength. Torn to oblivion.
Wih, dapat lagi dong HP persen.
No escape.
Everyone hold hands. Take yourself to home.
Ow! Let's light it up. Everybody stand back.
Cascade. Mind the deluge.
Illusion shattered. Going in!
I see everything.
Inazuma shines eternal.
The world constant over the centuries. But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory. There is no escape!
Everyone hold hands!
Adventure time!
The Temple of Wisdom!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
The depths beckon.
I see everything!
That's gonna hurt in the morning! Let's light it up! Everybody stand back! Torn to oblivion!
Oke, kelar game. Sampai ketemu nanti ya. Gue nanti streaming apa ya? Game inian apa namanya? Oh. Ya nanti lah. See you. Dadah. Assalamualaikum.